flashed the corner. Go on, Gary Craig, get one of yourself done. And what a great goal! Not so. Shoots!
Well, hello everybody, welcome back to Only Leeds Bros. Hope everybody is having a great Friday. Thanks very much for joining us. The weekend again, Dillo, that was a quick week.
I'm delighted to say that for you because it wasn't for me. Not one bit. Smothering with a dose. Absolutely just had enough of this week. Get it away from me. So Friday, I'm absolutely delighted. I'm going to go have a hot whiskey after this, get into bed, and that's me.
Have a couple of the hot whiskies. It's the only way around it. Pair of fluffy socks on you and all, then you'd be brand new. Before we do get into the video, guys, the Leeds Creator Cup takes place on the 20th of July in the John Charles Community for Sports Stadium. All your favourite Leeds United content creators will be there, and we talk the talk, but can we walk the walk? Come find out, and then you can give us all a little bit of slagging. Tickets are only £7 for adults, £3 for kids. 1 in 8 men will suffer from prostate cancer, guys, so it is very, very important. So make sure you get your tickets, come down and support it. It's going to be an unbelievable day. And then let's say hello to a couple of people in the chat. Again, as always, please don't forget to slap a like on the video and hit subscribe to the channel. That would be very much appreciated. Danny Talks Leeds says smash a like and subscribe. Please do that. Dillo's in here as well. Evening, lads. Evening, buddy.
What a name.
The real Dillo. Dillo. You're the Dillo from Wish now. Dillo Doyle is the real Dillo.
Correct.
Amy Clark says evening, gents. Evening, Amy. Thanks for popping in. Jam says evening, you pair of Irish legends. And evening to the chat as well. Of course, love to see that.
Everyone's favourite Welsh man, the Jam
Welsh
man.
wizard. Mr. White Snake says morning, people. Morning, White Snake. Thanks for popping in, buddy. And up the rows of peacocks are going to get no chance. Low chance. We've been training under the caution. We don't have to put up pictures and videos, you know what I mean, showing that we're training. Danny, we've few tricks up our sleeves. Don't you worry about that, buddy. The peacocks will be ready and roaring for the charity match. Don't you worry about that. Michael Pollard is here as well. Say good evening, Darren and Dillo. Good evening, Michael. Thanks for popping in, pal. Stephen Bourne is here as well. Evening, lads. Only one more sleep until the Whites wake up. Thanks very much for plugging that, buddy. Yes, so the Whites Wake Up is back tomorrow morning. Our first episode. Every Saturday, 10 o'clock, the Whites Wake Up. Loads of Leeds United games. The Bros Boot Challenge, banter, and a lot of games as well to get you guys involved in your Saturday morning.
It's a good one this week, lads. It's a good one.
Good one this week. Very, very funny one this week. You all get to have a good laugh at myself and Dylan. So yeah, tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, make sure you tune in. Dillo down with the man flu. He's a little bit bummed up there now. He is a little bit bummed up. Hi Jam, hi Amy, and Joe B right off to water my garden. Be right back to you. I'd have to water my garden because it's absolutely lashing here, Jamie. So lucky enough for me. But thanks very much, Joe B, for sending everyone across, buddy. Really appreciate it.
Legend.
Good evening, bros, and all says Inky. Who else have we got with us? We've John with us. We've got John as well. Hiya from Corfu. Very nice, buddy. Very lucky for you. Happy days. Love that. First for everything. First time getting you. Like the way. Thanks very much, buddy. Thanks for popping in. Really do appreciate it. But we've loads to get into today, guys. As you can see, again, of course, coming to the weekend, all the late transfer news is ramped up again, guys. Before we do say it, there isn't anything credible again. They're all very, very loose links. Nothing credible has came through, but there's been loads about Leeds United today. We're going to speak about Muniz as well, who's have to come back up again. I thought this was over with, but it's popped up again today. We're going to speak about Diarra. We're going to speak about Lucas Ullrich as well from Gladbach, and then of course Douglas Luiz as well, who's been a massive one today that came out as well. So plenty to get into, and always, guys, make sure you get your comments in and let us know what you're thinking, because that's what Only Leeds Bros is about. We give our opinion, you give yours, and we discuss them, and that's the community that we're trying to build here. So Dillo, let's get into it. And Muniz, I keep saying Muniz has popped up again today. Dillo, looks like this one was squashed, but by reports, TNT Sports have said that Leeds are going to go back in with a second bid. The first time we did see 26 plus add-ons, raising the 32 million. It's a lot of money, isn't it? Can we go higher than that?
I don't think we can go any higher than that, but there's a lot of noise in the background. And, you know, with the names that you just mentioned there, Leeds are doing some business behind the scenes. You know, with Jackie Bajal coming in, you know, they're making a lot of noise. So I think that's a good way for starters. With Muniz, Premier League quality. Is he worth the money? time will tell. But I'm actually delighted, lads, because every time I go onto Twitter, you're just seeing another name linked with Leeds, and you don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, I'm actually happy with this one, because as I said, I think this is the third or fourth time now it's coming up. Same with Jackie Bajal at that time, we were kind of standoffish. It went quiet, it was popping up, went quiet. And then all of a sudden, we knew that it was a done deal. So I think over the weekend now, Leeds want to start getting a few more in the door, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Yeah, me too, Dylan. I do have to be honest about Muniz. I've watched him obviously playing for Fulham. I've watched him a good bit. Say his time at Fulham, and he is a player that I do think would be good for Leeds United. I look at the price tag, and again, it's just because it's Premier League, the Premier League club. It's very, very much inflated. We know that, and kind of see Leeds United kind of push that boat a little bit more than £32 million on a player that's not too bad. I wouldn't say an unproven player, but only 8 goals last season for Fulham. Like it feels a bit of a bit of a stretch. Just the price tag for me. I'd love the player, but the price tag for me, that's the one thing that I'm looking at going, I don't know about that. Like, can we get better out there? Is there better out there for obviously less money? And I think there could be.
Definitely. There's definitely better players out there for less money, but I think it's getting to the point now where Leeds are just kind of, like, anyone's going to be linked with Leeds, especially with a new promoted club to the Premier League. Sorry, I was just laughing at that comment there. The Irish Jesse Marsh. That's actually so true, though, isn't it? I'm just going back to that. That's actually 100% accurate on that one. But yeah, at the end of the day, I just want Leeds. I want to see Leeds do more business, and it's gonna come.
Joe Blackburn has one for you here, Dylan. Pronunciation guide.
Oh no, I'm sick. Leave me alone.
Hacka be all, Dillo. Hacka be all. Dillo's going full Wayman on pronunciation, and it taught me, and I know that would very much get up Joe Blackburn's week. So we'll just keep calling him Jacka be all then. That's what we'll do. What else have we got here? Jam says Keith Andrews. What a gabber. Yeah, so I don't know if many of you have seen it today, but obviously Keith Andrews has been announced as the Brentford manager. I know this is a sidetrack, not Leeds United, but I retweeted and just said relegated because I firmly believe that he's anywhere he's been. MK Dons, Sheffield United, he's been an assistant manager at the Republic of Ireland. Everywhere he's been, it's been horrendous from him. He's got relegated in MK Dons and Sheffield United. But believe it or not, it was all Leeds fans coming for me on Twitter today, not Brentford fans, which I found a little bit strange. And I had one in particular who said the irony of this, because Keith Andrews is a better coach than Daniel Fark, and my mind was just absolutely blown off his shoulders. Now, if you don't rate Daniel Fark and you don't like Daniel Fark, the only way around this for me is that that's an agenda, because there's no way. How do you come to that assumption that Keith Andrews is a better coach than Daniel Fark? Well, I have absolutely no idea. Then I was told Daniel Fark has 3 championships, 100 points last season, most goal scorers in Leeds United history. How is he not a better coach than Keith Andrews? And I got a reply back saying, well, put his 3 championships aside because they were gimmies with the squads that he's had. Look at his 2 seasons in the Premier League. Look at his 1 season in the Bundesliga. So basically I was getting it. The reason Daniel Fark isn't as good a coach as Keith Andrews is because of his failings. So nothing credible, nothing to say, well, Keith Andrews does X, Y and Z and this and this. So look, only time will tell. I think on paper, I think we can all agree that it's a mad one. It's a stab in the dark for me for Brentford doing that. Going for someone like Thomas Frank to Keith Andrews blows my mind. I don't know how he's got that job, but he's got it anyway. But right here, right now, no way in hell am I agreeing that Keith Andrews is a better coach than Daniel Fark. Not a chance. Firstly,
I just want to say I didn't know that went on Twitter, and I'm actually really annoyed. I'm getting a bit angry for someone to even come out with a statement like that. Secondly, if you had to compare Daniel Fark to Keith Andrews, it'd be like getting a pizza out of Domino's. I know I'm referring to food. It is what it is. Daniel Fark is Domino's, and a frozen pizza is Keith Andrews. Which one are you going to go for? Let's be honest.
100%. Like, I think I'm just going to read it. We have a super chat here, and it's not very often we get super chats, so thanks very much. GP26, thanks very much for that, buddy. Every year I hit the panic mode in the window. Everyone else feels so relaxed knowing the owners know what they're doing. I have faith. You have to have faith, buddy. There's still a long way to go. There is a lot of work to be done, but there's still time to get it done as well. And again, thanks very much for your super chat, buddy. I do really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Going back a little bit before we move on, Dylan, about the Keith Andrews one, is what way I look at it, if, let's say in a parallel universe, Daniel Farke was sacked that time before we picked up the championship title, when all the rumours was floating around that the 49ers were going to sack him. If Leeds did sack Daniel Farke at that time and they appointed Keith Andrews, I would be having an absolute meltdown. And I mean a meltdown.
I think any Leeds fan would.
Like, how? Like, it wasn't clicks. Some people might think, might have just been like, clickbait or thrown out the rod and stuff like that. It wasn't. He genuinely believed that Keith Andrews is a better coach than Daniel Farke, which blows. Whatever you think of Daniel Farke, that's fine, no problem at all.
You're better off bookmarking it now when you get relegated next season than just forced thing.
It's ready to rock. Stephen Bourne says way better out there for that price. We shouldn't be held to ransom. But I think Douglas Luiz link is exciting. We will get into that, and it does excite me as well, buddy. Yeah, so just probably wrap it up on Muniz, Dylan. Obviously, we have to see where this one goes. Again, the links behind this, guys, are not credible. It's come from TNT Sports, and it's kind of just rolled on to them. I'm inclined to believe everyone's favourite, the voice of reason, Jerry Lynch, who said that this one looks like it's gone. We can kind of tick this one off. I can't see Leeds United going back in for him, but look, who knows, stranger things have happened. So it'll be interesting to see, Dylan, over the next few weeks how this one does develop. And I think even the striker role in general for Leeds United, what route we do go down, because we do need another striker, don't we?
It's highly important, yeah. They did say, what's that guy's name? Netchman or something. He's not going to be our statement number 9. Obviously, he's more of a rotation squad, which is good. So when you're looking at it like that, Leeds still have a lot of money to spend.
Yeah, 100%. We have to see what way it goes. Joe Blackburn saying that Andrews is a better coach. Saying that Andrews is a better coach is borderline insane. He's not coached a single senior game, and that's why I think it's mad how he's got a Premier League job. It just, for me, is mad, absolutely mad, just completely falling into that role. But we'll see how it goes for Brentford anyway. On paper, it looks like it's going to fall to shit, which is obviously good for us, but we'll see what happens. Madness to compare Farke to Andrews, absolute madness, sweet lord. We spoke about it today, Stephen, as well. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Right, let's move on anyway from Muniz. We'll keep an eye on that, and we'll see what happens there over the next couple of weeks, and we'll obviously keep you guys up to date as well. Then let's talk about Diarra, because it looked like we were in for him initially. He played that game against England. It looked like Leeds were really hot on his heels. It died off a little bit. We had the Chelsea links then as well. Forest went in for him as well. Today, earlier on, someone looks like Leeds were going to go back in with another bid for him, but now Sunderland have came into the mix as well, and it's said that they have concrete interest in Diarra and they're chasing him as well. It's one of them, is like, our Leeds going to get it done, because he does look like an exciting player. He does look like a player who'd be very useful to Leeds United. What's going on with this one as well?
It's the same thing again, just a lot of links that keep getting thrown up in the air. I think I did speak on a little bit of Diarra in previous videos. I think I actually took the paragraph from one of the Leeds websites, and it was very exciting. I actually started. So he's 21-year-old, he's a box-to-box midfielder, strong in and out of possession, and he progresses the ball with a very trickery in transition. So maybe something definitely that Leeds are looking for. I did see another tweet, I don't know how true it is, I don't think it's the same thing, lads, take it with a pinch of salt, that Sunderland have offered him, not offered him, but it's a better package than what Leeds are offering. Don't know how true it is. As I said, don't bookmark me for it. I'm only reading what I think is true. But I like this one. I really do. I think it's definitely something that we need to go for. But then, same thing again, similar to Muniz, it does depend on the price range now. We don't want to be spending mad money on players. At the end of the day, we need to get, like, similar to what Tanaka was. That quality player. I haven't got a burner account.
Jab says, didn't want Diarra. Anyway, we'll just have to see how it goes, buddy. I think that the reason why, what would get me, look, if he goes to kind of the more established Premier League clubs, I'll say, okay, look, if he goes to a Chelsea, you're like, look, we just can't compete with that, as much as we want at the minute, it's just where we are. But if he goes to a Sunderland, Dylan, that would feel like a bit of a kick, won't it? Because he looks like a player Leeds United could do it, and if he goes to, let's be honest, at the minute, a relegation rival where Leeds United are at, that could be a bit of a blow to Leeds.
Well, definitely, yeah. That's what I'm saying, spending our money wisely. You keep saying it, off air to me as well. With Leeds, it all depends on the price. At the end of the day, we don't want to be ending up in the same situation we were last season or season before, trying to rebuild. We all know how hard it is to try and stay in the Premier League, especially trying to compete with the players that are going up and down, up and down. But yeah, what you're saying, potentially a rival relegation battle with another team could be something that Leeds do miss out on. So at the end of the day, we're going to have to make sure that we don't put all our eggs in one basket and try to do a bit of sensible work. And to be fair, the 49ers have done that so far.
Yeah, totally agree, 100%. Fergal Kelly says here, wait till you see if he goes to Sunderland, it will be down to the attraction of the manager. And look what Danny says there as well. Labrie will know him as well from France, so that could be a pull there as well. And Leeds and Sunderland, look at where we are at the minute. Unfortunately, look, we all think Leeds United are a bigger club, 100%. But when you're looking from the outside, Sunderland as well, come on, back up. You know, who's he going to go to? If he does go to a Chelsea, I'm like, fine, I can take it. Or I think it was Luke's as well from Newcastle as well. That's fine. But I just think if he goes to Sunderland, it will feel like one to me. Maybe it's one that got away, and then I'd be very, very interested to keep a close eye on to see how he gets on at Sunderland. So we'll have to see how that one goes. Thanks very much again, GP. Again, you don't have to be doing that at all, buddy. Don't get many, have another. Thanks very much,
Cheers,
pal.
thanks.
Appreciate that, pal. I'll buy myself an old coffee over, Dylan. You're not getting that.
Yes.
Michael Pollard says, Diarra, I wonder if he was after clause in relegation. If true, probably the red line for us. And that could be it, Michael. And again, we can't be held to ransom. We've seen Leeds United in the past under the old ownership. You know, we were taken for ransom 100%, and we can't have the club in that state again.
I don't think Farrell will play into that game anymore. He's made that clear in certain press conferences when it comes to certain players, you know, release clauses. And, you know, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the word that he used was, it was up in the air with all these release clauses, and he was basically there to sort them all out.
Yeah.
So I don't think
it can't happen again. The club have to take a stance.
Definitely not.
Do
you know what? For me, sorry for cutting you off. Just for me with that, it's kind of like, how would you say, sink or swim sort of narrative. If the club doesn't do well, you can jump ship. Similar to what Jack
I think maybe Dylan have like more so like a gentleman's agreement. Like say, look, if the club goes down, you know, we will let you go. And I think notoriously with Leeds, we've seen that. We've obviously seen Phillips going, you know, for us, what we thought it was a low fee, going to Man City, Rafinha as well, going to Barcelona, and I'm sure Rafinha would have had that as well. Look, if we do go down, you know, you can kind of have that agreement in place. But I think them loan ones, you're really, that's your Achilles heel big time. If you do go down, you know, you can't get much from them. You're sending them out alone. Like, you're having another Jack Harrison thing, you know, Brendan Aronson, Max Vober, Christensen, Lorente, all that again. Just an absolute nightmare. So we
it's not just bringing all that negativity to the club again that we just do not need. That's for me. We just do not need.
I was genuinely going to read that, Dr. Cox. So Juventus want 13 million for Douglas Ruiz as long as his board Lemon signs. Stick them in midfield. Stick that'll be a solid midfield partnership in the Premier League. So yeah, 100%. So yeah, interesting, Dylan, to see how the Diarra one goes, because it seems to ebb and flow every day, and we know this with transfers, Dylan. It's always a truckload of salt. You know, when you see it on Twitter, you see it across social media, always have to chase back and see where these links resonate from. And today, again, a lot of the links that have came up, and a lot of, like, Leeds United always seem to be thrown into the mix when they're trying to drum up a bit of business or a bit of interest in their player. It always seems to be Leeds United are thrown in there. So, but the Diarra one, I do think firmly Leeds United are in for him as well, but it would have just been nice to get him over the line. So we'll keep a close eye on this over the next few days, and we'll see how it develops into next week as well. But because I think Leeds United, we need to get moving. We obviously have the second one in the door, so we need to get moving as well. Dillo, you've looked into him. Now we'll move on to the next one. Ullrich as well from Borussia Mönchengladbach, left back, 21 years of age, very, very young player, played 26 matches, 1 goal. A lot of interest from Everton, Palace, Forest, Brighton, and then Leeds are in there as well. What do you know about him?
I looked at a few videos on YouTube, if I'm being honest with you, and I got the vibe. I got a vibe now, to be fair. He actually is very good at going forward. His defending is kind of hit and miss. Now, what I mean by that is, he's not like a junior Firpo, but he does love a tackle, as far as I can see. That's what I've seen anyway. Holds his lines very well. And just genuinely, he's young, lads. He's young. You know, he's a lot to grow. But then the tweet that I seen, according to reports, Leeds and Spurs are two of several English clubs showing interest in Lucas Ullrich. So, same thing again, it's take it with a pinch of salt. Is he good enough? I don't know, but it could be something that maybe, let's say Leeds could be looking at potentially another young signing coming in the door. We're obviously, let's be honest, I think it's going to be Junior Firpo is going to be exiting, so we'll just wait and see.
Oh, yeah,
I was just left talking to myself. That's all right, yeah. With Junior Firpo walking out, it could be another young signing coming in the door. That just baffled me. I was just looking at myself there for a few minutes.
It was my fault. The way StreamYard works, what we stream off, guys, it's very weird, especially on the laptop when my mouse is dead. But basically, when you swipe this way, like, pulls you over, like, you don't even have to click X and all that. Just, nightmare. So I'm trying not to touch anything. Stephen Bourne says here, is Diarra this season's the Kettler and Rodrigo de Paul? Talked about them for months joining, and if it doesn't want to come, then we move on. We can't wait around. And I agree with you, buddy. I agree with you. It's one of them where you kind of go in, you say to them, look, do you want to come to Leeds? This is the offer. And we kind of go from here because we can't hang about. We really can't hang about. So I 100% agree with you there.
Do you know what's annoying me as well? Look, I don't know. I'm not really up on it in the sense of what goes on between agents, players, and what they want in the sense of like as much football time as possible. But take the Leeds. I'm trying to take the Leeds hat off here. Why wouldn't you want to become a play for Leeds? At the end of the day, there's a serious potential here with the stadium development, with the 49ers.
It's more so the European players, though, Dylan, that are coming here that look at they know the size of Leeds United, but they'll look at Leeds and say, a newly promoted club, potential of going back down. So they have to take that into consideration. When they're leaving the club and they're coming here, potentially being relegated, it is a big risk for their career as well.
Fair.
A good one here as well from Harvey, who is a Sunderland fan. Sunderland fan here. We seen we were linked with Diarra a few weeks ago, and this bit came out of nowhere. And he's looking to be our Bellingham replacement, but the journalist is 50-50. It's hard to believe. And do you know what? No disrespect to Sunderland, I found it hard to believe as well that Sunderland, and there's concrete interest there from him as well. It's a massive bid gone in for him as well. So it'd be interesting to see what way he goes, because he obviously has a lot of pursuers as well in Diarra, Dylan. So it's one to keep an eye on, isn't it?
100%. I think we've seen it since the start of the window when it opened up. It's still knocking around. And get back on your side.
Stephen's right as well. I'm like on the deck. I always have to be on the left. I don't know what it is. Just in me. Darren and Dylan, I reckon the relegation release clause could be something ridiculous, like 100 mil to protect the club. But I suppose you'd have to reflect on that value in the wages, don't you know? I don't know 100%, but you don't know what goes on and behind closed doors. You might have a player that just really wants to come to Leeds and doesn't really care about the long release clause, and then you'll have someone who's going to be adamant to get it in there, and especially agents. Agents will be the ones that are pushing these release clauses. Make sure you get it in there, because if you do, we can get you moved then elsewhere as well. But the club can't do it. They can't again. And look, I don't mind possibly one or two, and I know that this might be a bit of a hot take. If it's a player with really, really good quality and you want to get him in and you decide to give him a release clause, that's fine. But not 7, 8, 9, 10. Not the whole lot of them with release clauses, because you're really, really giving yourself an Achilles heel if we do get relegated.
You're talking like 1 or 2, maybe 3 at most.
Possibly. It depends on the caliber of player. Like, for
like
me,
you wouldn't start at 11.
Move on to Luiz. Dylan. Luiz is, look, it hasn't worked out for him at Juventus, but we've seen him at Aston Villa. They've plenty of experience, played over 200 times for Villa, 22 goals. The type of midfielder that Leeds United need as well. And if you put a long release clause in him, I'd be okay with that. And I know that sounds a bit mad. I'd be okay. Once it's not, be all. Once it's not him and X, Y, and Z, all these players that come in and we're putting release clauses in all the contract, then you're really shooting yourself in the foot. But if it's 1 or 2 with high caliber players, and that's the one thing, to tip the balance if they're going to sign for Leeds, or if they're not, for me, then I don't mind. So 1 or 2 is fine, not loads.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's similar though when you look at it from when we did have that problem. You're talking like nearly half of the starting 11 that had release clauses in their contracts.
Oh, mental, yeah.
That's not on. How can you run a football club like that?
Danny says Leeds will be stepping stone for players for a few years. And look, it's not nice to read that, obviously, as a Leeds fan, but it's true. It's true. And I think Leeds will sell it. Like, look at Calvin Phillips, look at Rafinha, look at Archie Gray, look at these players that have used Leeds United, to kind of springboard their career. Unfortunately, that's just where Leeds United are at the minute. We're not an established Premier League club. We're a massive club, one club city. We know that stadium developments, all that. But where we are at the minute, we've spent more times outside the Premier League in the last 20 years than in it. So we really need to become an established club before we can really say, we want to hold on to our players. Unfortunately, just that Danny's right. It's just where we are at the minute. The number 10, this has to be a priority position. Even before, 100%. Yeah, 100% I agree. Even before and while Rutter was here, surprised that we haven't sorted this out as a matter of priority. As it stands, Brendan still has the short. Yeah, look, I agree with you. There's a lot of positions in this Leeds team, Dylan, that needs looking at. For me, my priority would be the number 1 goalkeeper. Then it would certainly be the number 10 position, because we've been crying out for a creative number 10 since Pablo Hernandez. We haven't replaced him since then. But there's a lot of positions, Dylan, we need to fill. Obviously, left back now with Firpo going. We definitely need another centre midfielder, potentially a winger. Like, there's a lot of work to be done. And I think if you think about it that way, well, we need this, and this, you can kind of get overwhelmed. So you need to just take one position at a time, tick them off, and get them in the door. And look, we haven't seen anyone leave yet as well. So we haven't even begun to, we're only at the tip of the iceberg. We haven't even begun to get going what's going out and what's going the other way. So there's a lot of work to be done over the next couple of weeks for Leeds.
A lot, definitely a lot. But I'm kind of happy though as well. You still want that kind of experience, similar to Joshua Gilavogi coming in, maybe not playing a lot of ball time. Like, if I'm being honest with you, lads, I think they should give contract another Boyer another contract. I'm being honest. I have to say,
don't mind him being in the dressing room. Then I agree with you in the dressing room, but
that's what I mean. Yeah.
It sounds mad, but I don't particularly want to see him playing much. Like, kind of like a Gilavogi in the background, maybe for the League Cup and FA Cup games and stuff like that. But just because he knows the club. But yeah, we'll see what way it goes with Boyer as well. I would suppose you would give a relegation release clause to the ones who would give you great value. That's probably my point. Yeah, the one with the quality is the ones that you probably wouldn't mind, but not them all. You don't want to be handing them out, like that free. Release clause probably should relate to the players' wages. Exactly, Richard. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, exactly. Aronson is not a good number 10, to be honest. And if any has seen his interview, he was away with the US men's national team, and he spoke about his desire to get back into that number 8 role. He doesn't see himself as a number 10. He rather the number 8 position. For me, Dillo, he's not physical enough to be a Premier League number 8, is he?
No, he gets knocked down too much, lads. And you know what? I don't say this in a calm way. Every game last season, and I know he scored. Don't get me wrong, he did score goals, and he done okay. But anytime it's outside the box, or even on the edge of the box, it's getting bloomed over the bar. So he needs to work on his shooting. So if you want to be a number 8 and you can't score from distance, I think you're better off sticking to number 10, pal, or on the bench, one or the other.
Yeah, I think that the number 10 is definitely his position, and I think the wing as well. I don't think he's good enough for the wing at the minute. The number 10 for me at the minute, the way he's played last season is the only position he can play. But we'll see. Until we've had 5-6 years continuous Prem money going into the club, plus the stadium upgrade won't fully see the potential of the club. Great point, Mark. Yeah, 100%. All this takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day, so we have to see what way it goes, buddy. Danny is here saying, don't think we get a 10, I think we get a box-to-box 8. Good point as well, Danny. Very, very good point. We've probably seen the number 10 in the Premier League kind of fizzle out a little bit over the last couple of years. There's not really an out-and-out number 10 anymore. It's like what Danny says, it's more of a box-to-box number 8. But I don't think Aronson is that. For me, I don't think he's...
Does the running. He'll do the running, he'll do the running. He won't do anything else. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Richard Hogan says, are you both disappointed that the Melier deal fell through? I didn't hear that it fell through, buddy, but I did hear that the links were very loose and there was nothing kind of concrete behind it. It was just interest there from Strasbourg. But I do still think he's going to go, Richard. I do still think he's going to go, so I'm not too worried about it.
I hope he goes.
As I said on last Monday's stream as well, I think it would be Melier to go first before Leeds see a goalkeeper coming in, because I don't think we're going to do what we done the last time where we brought Carl Darlow in, seeing him as our number 1. Mez does a U-turn and then decides he wants to stay. and then you're left kind of chasing your tail, right, what's going on here. So I think they'll want Mez to move on. I think Mez will want to move on for himself as well in his whole career and a fresh start. But so I'm not too disappointed about it, Richard. I can still see him gone before the end of the window. Dylan, what about you?
Yeah, no, he needs to go before his career. 110%. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I can't really talk about Melia anymore, lads, for being honest with you, because I just can't. I can't deal with him. He just annoys me.
Top Banana says, evening, all these are MOT. Banana, Dylan. Banana. Check out the Whites. Wake up tomorrow to find out. Danny, you have Mez back to start first game of this season, so that opinion is a bit biased. I'm not, yeah. Okay, we'll have to see what happens with Mez. I can see him gone. I can see him gone. A bit late, so going to watch from the start. Cheers, Top Banana. Really appreciate it, pal. Thanks for popping in on your Friday. Love it. He would get eaten alive in the Prem in that position. I think so as well, Jam. Some of them number 8s and them midfielders in the Premier League will have Brendan Aronson on toast. So we'll see what happens. Brendan Skiller. Jesus. Right, Dylan. Let's move on then. Let's speak about the elephant in the room, the biggest link today. And again, it's not usually credible, Dylan. It's Douglas Luiz. We've seen it's popped up. It was kind of squashed. I didn't really see it happening, but it seems to have it's came back again, Dylan. A player with loads of Premier League experience, over 200 times for Aston Villa. This will be a good one. But again, it's the fee, over 30 million for Luiz.
A lot of money again, yeah. I just seen on Twitter, I think it was today, I think it was either today or yesterday. Someone said, is he going to be our statement signing? And I actually meant to ask you that question off camera, so I'm going to ask you now on camera.
It depends on what you say, like Dylan, like statement, like what a statement signing is. Like I think he'd be a very, very good signing. It depends on kind of what you get in after that. Like I think probably really the way football has gone is that your statement signing should be your number 9. So I'm very interested to see what number 9 we go after. I think if we bring Luiz in and Muniz, I think that would that would be unbelievable. Like that link there would be absolutely quality. But hand on heart, right now as I'm sitting here at this moment, I don't think it happens. As much as I wanted to, I don't think it does. I think it's a bit far fetched. But we have to see. Personally, that's what I think. Let us know what you guys think of the chat of the Douglas Luiz one. But for me, Dylan, I think 60 million, and I just think he'll want to go elsewhere. What about you?
It's a lot of money, man, isn't it? Let's be honest. And then going back to what you said, similar to the other players we were talking about, let's be honest, fighting the relegation and taking that chance of being dropped, and then you're talking about release clauses again. So
yeah,
I suppose it'll probably go down to the fee, and it'll be if the 49ers sell it to him in the right way and not in a we want to do this, but this could happen, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Brendan says here, guarantee Mez becomes world class when he joins another European club.
Yeah, definitely.
Possibly, Brendan. I'm not going to sit here and say not, but I just think it's just gone stale at Leeds United at the minute. I really do, and I think it feels with Mez, it's on a knife edge, Brendan. To be honest with you, and I try and put myself like, what if? So if he does stay, and Danny's mentioned as well, Mez starts the first game of the season. If Melier does play 4, 5, 6 games into the Premier League season and he has another howler like a Sunderland, like a whole, where does that leave us, trying to support him? Where does that leave the squad trying to trust him? Where does that leave Daniel Fark? And I just think it's more of a gamble to keep him here than it is to move him on right now. And I'd hope for Melier. I hope that he'd move on, and be a very, very good goalkeeper. And look, he's still very young. We know keepers don't hit their prime till they're well into their 30s, so that could be very possible, Brendan. But I just think for him and Leeds United, I just think it's gone very, very stale, and it's probably best for both parties to move on.
Yeah. No, 100%. I think I made it clear when it comes to Melier. He just needs to go. He really does. But I 100% agree with that comment, because that is like just typical. That's a Leeds comment right there. Like that would happen. He'd win the Golden Glove or something much.
Yeah. Andrew says here it's just paper talk coming from Italy, and that probably leaves us on, because I covered a video on Wednesday about Krstovic, and it was obviously coming out from Tasha Tavolieri that there was an agreed deal in place and it was done, and let's be honest, he's very credible. Like, that's a credible source that's coming from. And then the YEP, Joe Donoghue and Graham Smith were squashing that, saying, look, we completely denied us that there's just no interest from Leeds United. And it was a very, very weird situation when I was covering it, Dylan, because the YEP were saying no. Good credible source Neatly was saying, yeah, but Graham Smith, if you watch his Inside Ellen Road podcast with Joe Donoghue, it's a good one. It's informative, so you should go check that out. And he point blank is saying there's no interest from Leeds United. He's putting his head on the line and saying that there's not. So it's a weird one. And again, it's coming out of Italy, and the same one with Douglas Luiz as well. It's coming out of Italy as well. And is there a link between clubs and journalists over there as well, where it's like, look, if you can kind of push this out, get a bit of interest in our players so we can move them on, that could be potentially what's happening over there. So for me, kind of Taglieri, his estimate and his credibility has probably dropped a little bit. And yeah, it's one of them we have to keep a close eye on and see what happens. But it was a strange one, Dylan, wasn't it, this one?
Yeah, 100%. It's the same thing. Just for me, lads, I'll always believe it when I see it. When Leeds put a video up or a photo of a signing, for me, no matter who they are, I know there's some incredible sources out there, but I wait until I can see the contract and signed and sealed and delivered.
Dr. Cox says Joseph gets sold, I reckon. Yeah, I think so. I'm more leaning probably 60% saying I think he goes. I don't want to see him go, but I can understand the club's reason and PSR and the wiggle room it will give us. So I do agree, Dr. Cox. I do think he will go, as much as I don't want him to. Again, another lot of outgoings to come for Leeds. Given that we are saying that number 10s are a thing of the past, should we be playing more of a 4-3-3, 4-5-1 next season? I think we might, Richard. I think Daniel Farke definitely has to be looking at being more pragmatic in the Premier League and be a lot more solid.
Plan B.
Plan B, yeah, red alert. We have to see what happens. But good point, Richard. Yeah, potentially we could be, but it does seem to be kind of moving out of the game. The number 10s are more the box 8. So yeah, be interested to see what way Leeds go with it next season. Stephen Bourne says, "What a statement signing Luiz would be." It ain't gonna happen, but I can't dream. That's it. That's all we can do. But
you never know.
Always dream.
You never know.
Always dream. Stranger things have happened. I can't see it, but if it did happen, then oh baby, class. Richard Hogan says, we are seeing a lot of Premier League teams focusing on set pieces. Meslier will be targeted by every team in that regard, given his inability to deal with corners and long throws.
Or better, catch the ball by just catching it.
It's massive. It's massive in the Premier League set pieces, Dylan, isn't it? And that's why I think we've seen Bial coming in for both sides, attacking and defending them set pieces and corners. The only other side as well. And Danny's brought it up plenty of times in the chat here, saying that we need a good set piece taker if we're going to improve that. We have to. Premier League is 1%ers, Dylan, isn't it? Set pieces.
100%. With Rotwell last season, and to be fair, I actually thought he was a quality player. He gave us that little bit of a niche when it came to set pieces. We were not necessarily on the edge of our seat, but we were definitely a bit more up for it. And you can see the players were a bit more up for it because they had that kind of confidence. We still need a set piece coach, if I'm being honest with you. But for corners, free kicks, we're going to need it, especially for the Premier League, 100%. Can't just hope and hit, or hit and hope.
Inky says here, German police and local authorities will once again not grant a permit for Leeds to play matches in front of spectators. Yeah, for me, when I seen this again today coming out, I'm like, it just feels unfair, doesn't it? That, like, giving the fans chances to travel to different places. I know, look, we've got Sweden against Man United, we've got the Aviva Stadium against AC Milan as well. But for Leeds fans, and like, obviously out there in Europe as well, there's Leeds fans out there to be able to go to games and watch games and give them the opportunity to do that. It's a strange one, Dylan, isn't it? Like, just let a couple of spectators in and let them watch a pre-season game. Like,
I don't know. I actually think it's quite disgraceful, if I'm being honest with you, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of fans that don't get to go over Taylor Road. This is their kind of time. Maybe they're close to home or it's not far for them to travel. Should be allowed to go and see Leeds, if I'm being honest with you. I can imagine now, like us now in August, we couldn't watch. There'd be more to, like, there'd be uproar.
We'll enjoy Dublin and we'll enjoy Sweden and we'll enjoy Dublin and Villarreal as well the week before the AC Milan game as well. So there's plenty that Leeds can go to, but it's just a strange one, the German. We should just stop going there, John. If we are going to even go out to the likes of Australia or maybe hit America and stuff like that, where there's spectators from every corner of the world that can go support Leeds United, it should be done. It just feels like why bother? Why go? Is it the fucking Germany kind of link? Is that where they're going there? I don't know. We'll have to see. A little bit like Neil Warnock bringing the lads down to Cornwall, and that could be a little bit of that. Jason O'Keefe says it's all paper talk at the moment, lads. It's clickbait with some of these sites, 100%, buddy. And you get to know what ones are clickbait. You get to know what ones are a little bit more credible, and what ones can kind of run with a little bit. And it's obviously Fab Romano when he obviously says, "Here we go." That's something credible behind it, and then it's the club. Anything other than that, you always have to take everything with a pinch of salt. So I agree with you, buddy. Everything's always clickbait. A keeper like Pope could definitely be the difference with staying up or not. 100%. Bluetooth, sorry about that. 100%, Dylan, isn't it? That's the difference. My Bluetooth just turned on there.
Sorry.
That is the difference, Dylan, though, isn't it? Like a decent goalkeeper, it's massive in the Premier League.
I keep saying it, lads. He doesn't have to be outstanding. Just do the basics. Come and catch the ball, kick it, make a save, do your job. Sound like Roy Keane, but seriously, just do the basics of what needs to be done. We're not looking for anything spectacular.
Yeah, I agree. Danny says we never missed the first man. No point in having big players. That's it. We need a set piece taker. Dr. Cox says we should stop going to Germany. Yeah, get Keith Andrews in, set piece coach and all that. Should stop going to Germany for pre-season. Sunderland in Germany same time, and it's Leeds, isn't it, Danny? It's Leeds. Why even bother sending the team to Germany? Yeah, definitely.
100%.
Tommy K says, book this lad in an appointment. Doc, he ain't well. Who's that now? Me? You?
Me? Well, I am as well, isn't he?
Oh, you? Dillo, yeah, sorry, yeah. He'll be alright, Tommy. He'll be alright. He's being worse. All the people in the chat will vouch for that. Dylan's been a lot worse on streams here at times where he just sits there and just nods and agrees. Don't worry about him, Tommy. He'll be alright. Did you
ever see the penguin? The penguins from Madagascar is the best way to describe me. Did you ever see them? Did you ever see the penguins from Madagascar?
Yeah.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Oh my God, man. Dylan would have a 1-year-old kid, don't you? You know exactly. Your Pope got to be the main target for me, says Ming. Yeah, definitely for me, Pope would be all over it. Pope, Luiz, Muniz. Oh my God, that would be very, very nice. Marcus Celtic, you've got a point. What did Marcus Celtic say? Did I miss it? Where is he? Why even bother going to Germany? Yeah, no, I got it. Yeah. Good. Let's not go to Germany anymore, says Emmett. 100%.
Agree.
Until it's like Berardi the warrior. I wouldn't say that now. Yeah. I wouldn't say that.
I'm a warrior. Oh. Big warrior.
Ardlin. Hoping for loads of do next season, Dillo. I hope so, Marcus. Somehow I don't think there will be as many. But let's hope there's a couple of good ones and a couple of memorable ones in there, Dillo. What do you think?
Just want me to do one. Rev me up. Come on. Rev me up. Come on.
Go for it. What have you?
But Jody come in and absolutely right across the head. That's the end of that. Only Leeds bros, no more.
That's it. Dillo, that's it for Leeds latest. That's it for our Friday night show. Anything else to say to people before we wrap it up?
Lads, please, for the crack, set your alarm. 9 o'clock. No, sorry, 9:30. Wait to wake up 10 o'clock in the morning. You just don't want to miss it. Bang the kettle on. Come and watch me and Darren. You'll get a good bit of laugh out of this one. Because the whole place is going to go bananas. You'll see what I mean.
Dylan says, set your alarms 10 o'clock in the morning. The whites wake up. The funniest one. The funniest one.
Fly on.
9:30.
Flick the kettle. Leeds mug. What would you want?
It is very good. You'll enjoy it tomorrow morning. 100%. Get some honey down. Yeah. Get some honey.
I've actually none. Believe it or not, my grandfather said the same thing. Of none.
Honey's the only way for a sore throat, definitely.
Yeah.
Honey and whiskey. Cheers, boys. See you in the morning. Thanks, Inky. Really appreciate it, pal. Pope on his knees. Pope is on his knees. Yeah, love it. Pope, love it. Remember our playoff final didn't really kick in until we saw the EFL fixtures released. Got to feel sorry for the Blunts on Wednesday. Yeah, if any didn't see it, I'm one on Twitter where I see a lot of stuff and I don't really comment on it. I obviously just retweet our stuff on Only Leeds Bros and a few of the Leeds bits that's credible and stuff like that. But I was in work on Thursday at lunchtime and I got so bored. And no, sorry, it was Wednesday, and obviously seeing the fixture released, and then obviously Sheffield United put it up by our first 4 games, and all that, and all the Sheffield United fans are commenting on it, going, big season here, can't wait, blah blah. And I just sent in Leeds United's 4 fixtures, and I just said, enjoy the Champo, lads. And oh my god, I got attacked, boy. It was a very, very entertaining lunchtime. I got, you're going straight down, 4 out of 4 losses, rather be in the Championship winning games than in the Premier League losing and all. And I was just like, what? You'd rather be in the Championship than the Premier League? What? Like, well, very funny. I got the fishing rod out and got a couple, so I enjoyed me Wednesday lunch and work till and caught a couple of fish I did.
Love that.
Dillo, could you sound any more hoarse? Yeah, exactly. The voice will just be completely gone. See you in the morning, says Danny. Cheers, pal. No knick-knacking in the league, lads. No, we've knocked that on the head, Jason. Yeah, we know where it's coming from now. So, yeah, the secret's out there. And last couple before we wrap it up, Ruud van Nistelrooy being sacked today. Yeah, here's Sean Dyche is the favourite for the Leicester job, which is very good. He'll get them back up.
That's what Danny told me.
Need a bigger push for them boats. I was just bored. Something I never do, but I actually have to say I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'll definitely have to do it. In the morning, the lines is starting. Yeah, enjoy it, Polly. Nice one, lads. Enjoy that offer, bit of grub. Enjoy, Brennan. Have a great Friday evening, lads. Enjoy it. We'll chat you all again tomorrow morning. Mind yourselves, mind each other. Smash a like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And we'll chat you all again soon.